we're going down the road heading to Southeast Texas, to look at some. I say we. I got my 10-year-old son with me. Will.
Hi.
Will. Yeah, hi to the millions of viewers out there. So yeah, Will's going with me, and going to look at some property in Southeast Texas. But I wanted to give you another thought on the How to Buy Land series that we're doing. But I want to talk to you about sticking to the closing, sticking to the details to get a closing. There's nothing in real estate that is just signed and done that easy every time. Deals get complicated. You're dealing with people. You're dealing with chains of title that have been that may be dozens of years old. You're dealing with legal descriptions from I'm dealing with one that's 90 years old. You're dealing with multiple people, multiple personalities, attorneys, abstractors, appraisers, surveyors, lenders. The list goes on and on. All of the people involved in deals that have to do all do their part. They all have to do their part correctly and timely for it to all come together to get a closing, whether you're buying it or selling. Either way, to get a closing. And sometimes people mess up. Sometimes people aren't on the same time schedule you're on. Sometimes people, quite honestly, just don't give a rip. You've got to understand that there's always going to be problems getting a deal across the finish line, as we say, getting it done. And you just got to stick to it. That's the thing. The part I've said 100 times to people, the main thing about real estate is just solving problems, and to do that you just got to stick with it. That could be any part of the process. So with that, you got a deal, you made a deal on a piece of property, you got a contract on it, deposit money has been exchanged, it's at a title company or attorney's office to get closed. There's still 55 more things that can come up to wreck the deal. So you just got to be patient. A person like me, I'm not all that patient by nature. It's just I've done this enough, that you got to sort of roll with the punches. You got to sometimes just grin and bear it. Sometimes you just got to be sweet, even though you got every right in the world to be mad and upset. You just got to kind of stay even keeled and deal with it, because at the end of the day, you want people to work with you and to help you. And anything you can do to assist that is going to make a difference, I promise. So I've got 3 of them now that come to mind that were real pains on closing. 2 of them haven't even closed yet. One of them that has closed, and we bought it and actually have sold it since. We were waiting on a succession to be done. We had the property under contract, but then when the title work began, the attorneys discovered that the proper succession hadn't been done on the seller's family to be able to put the title in the names of the people who were now selling the property. That they had gotten the property willed to them, but just because it's willed to you doesn't mean that you are the successor in title until a succession is done and a judgment of possession is rendered. So all that said, it had to be done, and that took several weeks to do. All this time I'm thinking, hey, this deal, it could just fall apart any time, because if we can't get this succession done, we can't buy it. And then if I can't get it bought, the people I have made a deal with to sell it to, they're going to get frustrated and walk away from the deal. But it all got held together, and it finally got done just by touching base with the attorneys every week, just kind of keeping everybody prodded along gently and kindly until, lo and behold, it all got done. And we bought it. Then we turned right around the next day and sold it and made pretty decent money. And it was just sticking with it to get that done. I had an email yesterday on a piece of property that one of these 11 that we bought, that I've already sold part of it, and it's a great deal for us. We're going to do really well on this. But the email yesterday was the lender asking for an extension. Okay, that's not unusual, but this is the 3rd extension. And there's been 2 amendments. So I've amended the contract twice. I extended it yesterday for the 3rd time. And, at some point you just go, to heck with it, I foot on you. If you're not going to close, we're done. I'm not extending it. Well, we're way down the track. I know that buyers have the ability to get this done. It's not a credit issue. It's not a buyer issue. It's a lender that their timetable is not our timetable. They think the world revolves around them and they can just drag their feet and get it done whenever they want to, regardless of what the contracted closing dates stipulate. So, I'm giving a little, getting these extensions, because I know here in the next week or so we'll have this closing and it'll all be worth it. But, it's one of those kind of deals I just bite my tongue and go, hey, no problem. Another week is another week. But I wreck a good deal over principle just because I don't want to extend it another week. This one of the deals, I've drawn the line in the sand before and said, no, I'm done. But this wasn't the time to do that. This deal will happen and it will be a good check. So it was worth just kind of playing along and, and working with the folks and getting them what they needed, and getting it done. So you're going to run into that. There's going to be a lot of that, trying to get deals across the finish line. If I wanted to stand on principle, that'd be great, but I'd have a lot of unsold property. So, there's times to give and then there's times to stand firm. This is one of those times to give a little. A third one that, again, yesterday, I touched base with the closing attorney to ask them where the deal was. That's my normal deal. Hey, just touching base, want to see where our deal is my way of asking, what are you doing? Tell me what's going on. The buyers, we've already funded. We've signed documents. We've funded it. It's at the attorney's office. They're sending it out to get sellers' signatures, and I say sellers because there's 5 people involved in it. They're all have been in agreement to sell. They all signed the contract. They've all signed an extension that the attorney asked for a few weeks ago. Everybody signed, but still at the end of the day, you wait to get all these signatures back, and then to get it done, because until everybody's signed, all 5 of them, you don't have a deal. 4 of them could sign, but the 5th one decide not to, or they were going to wait till they get back from the beach or whatever and put it off. We don't have a deal. And we've spent real money. We have spent money on a survey. I've got a lot of time in this deal. And at the end of the day, I'm still waiting to get it signed by the sellers so that I've got a closed, firmed up deal that I can then start marketing and do what we want to do with this property. So those are 3 things that come to mind just on the properties that we've been talking about in general with this video series, but the things you just got to deal with. And the way to do it is to sit down and send an email, pick up the phone, make a call, be kind, be clear, be brief, but keep prodding along, but in a professional way, in an encouraging way, in a nice way. You got to be firm at times, and I have, believe me, but you never want to just scorched earth and blow a deal, blow relationships, blow your reputation just because something isn't going just right. So anyway, hang in there with your deals, keep pushing, get them across the finish line. That's when everybody gets happy and gets paid, and see what happens. Bye.